Shalom, shalom. Call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. My name is Ibar from the Prophets in Babylon camp down here in Tampa, Florida. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to those for elect scattered abroad. In this video, I want to touch on the act of necromancy, okay, or to be a necromancer, which the Lord talked about us in the scriptures, telling us that we are not supposed to be partaking in necromancy, or to partake in, or to affiliate with necromancers, okay, which is somebody, and I'll grab this word necromancy in the dictionary. It says a necromancer, a person who uses witchcraft or sorcery. Okay, so a person who uses witchcraft or sorcery, especially to reanimate dead people or to retell the future by communicating with them. Okay, and that's a part of witchcraft or sorcery, which is necromancy, where people actually, may reanimate dead people, or they may, call themselves communicating with dead people while they're in the grave, and they get future or information from the dead, which is evil. That's wickedness, is sorcery. Okay, and this is going to go into a story about how certain people in Italy were keeping their mummified family members as still a part of the family. Okay, so I'll read a little bit of this history. It says from an Instagram page called Dr. the Histories. In 1950, people living with a normal life with mummies in Vinzoni, Italy. Salakia.
That's $1,400.
So this was what was going on in Vinzoni, Italy. Okay, Salakia. This is what was going on in Vinzoni, Italy, man. All right. It says the residents of Vinzoni, Italy, hang out with the mummified remains of their dead relatives. They live with the corpses in their homes, seat them at their dining tables, and take them out for some fresh air, as this photo shows. So this is them taking their dead relatives out for fresh air after they mummified them. So when somebody in their family would die, they wouldn't bury them. They would keep them and mummify their bodies, and then they would, treat them like they were still a part of the family, man. This is absolutely filthy and disgusting. It says the macabre tradition began back in the 14th century CE, when the Great Plague swept through the village. So many residents died that there wasn't room in the cemetery to bury them, so the bodies were stacked up in the church basement. Fast forward 300 years to 1647, when the church was being rebuilt. The bodies, now mummified, had to be moved, but the residents believed that God had sent their ancestors back to them. So families reclaimed their mummified relatives and took them home. The tradition continued until the 1950s and was photographed by Life magazine for photographer Jack Burns. Wow. So this is something they actually did, man. Let me go here. This is the same. This is where I got the article from in the first place. But then you got other people down here. It says, our people in Toraja, Indonesia, still do the same every 3 year named ritual Manini. Okay, so this is a ritual named Manini, where they would take their dead relatives and bring them back. Okay, this is totally disgusting and filth, wickedness. And this is some heathen shit, man. They will bring their dead relatives back, and celebrate their dead bodies. But their relative is not in that body, man. Your relative is, at rest with the Father. So let's grab a couple scriptures, all right, to touch on that. because hey man, I just thought that was disgusting. And this is, like I said, this is some Edomite shit, man. So Hebrews 12 verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Okay, so there's no more profane or wicked person, okay, than Esau, man. And that's why you see them Edomites, posing up with their dead relatives, man. You're not supposed to be in that spirit of, and we'll grab that. Let's grab that real quick. Let's go into it. Deuteronomy 18, verse 9. It says, when thou art coming to the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. You see, so the Lord is telling us, if you go into this land which I promised you, don't go doing after the abominations of the other nations, man. Those heathens. Don't go doing what those heathens are doing, because what those heathens were participating in witchcraft and necromancy and all types of other fucking foolishness, man. Excuse my language. All right. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. Okay, so you're not supposed to be in that spirit of being an enchanter, an observer of times, to use divination, or a witch. Witchcraft is wickedness, man. I just saw a video that the brother GMS in Rome, Lions in Rome, did about two witches that tried to do witchcraft on him when he first came into the truth, man. And hey, man, that witchcraft had no power over him, because the Lord was dealing with him, and the Lord revealed it to him. So he was so what he did, he had to get from around that, man. If you know anybody that participates in witchcraft or does any type of witchcraft, get from around them, man. Okay, it says, there shall not be among you any of them that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, which is child sacrifice. I just saw a video of this damn these characters, Blueface and Krishan Rock or whatever, and apparently she said how this guy Blueface made her get 3 abortions, man. That's child sacrifice. You call your child to pass through the fire, man. It says, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, demons, or a wizard, or a necromancer. Okay, that's the point of this lesson. A necromancer. The Lord said to beware of these motherfuckers, man, because they out here. And if they was doing it back then, they probably got people still probably doing it today, man. You got people that take their family's ashes and they got them the ashes in the house. You don't do all that shit, man. That's off, man, and that's wickedness. Hey, as Hebrew Israelites, our custom is to bury our relatives, man. If somebody die, then you will bury them. You don't have them, in your damn house, man. It's because that person is not there anymore. Okay, the person that your family member or whatever, they're not there. They're with the Father. That's just their corpse. Okay, it says, and it's unclean. That's an unclean thing to be around dead bodies, man. Especially if the priest couldn't be around dead bodies. So us men of the Lord, you can't be around no dead bodies, man. Verse 12, it says, for all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahawah, and because of these abominations, Yahawah thy power doth drive them out before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with Yahawah thy power, for these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observer of times, and unto diviners, or it says, but as for thee, Yahawah thy power have not suffered thee to do so, or so to do. Yahawah thy power will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him shall ye hearken. And that's what happened. If you think about it, that's crazy, because that's what happened amongst all our families, man. In my family in particular, I was the brother that woke up, and that's happened in your families too. But ultimately, you had the ultimate prophets, Moses, the Lord. The Lord raised up men, to show us the right way. So as we come into this truth, you got to learn, the Lord said, abstain from all, manners of wickedness, man. roughly paraphrasing. You know, certain things are just, you're gonna have to avoid. You see somebody participating in wickedness or witchcraft or sorcery, get the fuck from around their ass, man. Don't be trying to be cool with them. Don't care who they is to you. Okay, because that stuff will jump on you, man. Let me grab that. It says, Numbers chapter 23, verse 23. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what have the Most High wrought, man? Because the Lord is now causing these things to happen to our people, because what they've been going off, they've been, coming against the Lord. So now the Lord is jacking their ass up, man. But originally it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be no enchantment or no, divination against Israel, because our people have fallen short. They've fallen short of the glory of YAHAWASHI. They don't know YAHAWASHI. They get taken by that madness, man. Beware of any witchcraft, any sorcery, and we in a time where there's great witchcraft and sorcery going on all around you. The average person you meet is more than likely a witch, man. If you celebrating Christmas, you're a fucking witch and a wizard. You celebrating Halloween, and come on, man. But yeah, that's pretty much the point of it. I ain't gonna make this too long. I think the point was already made. Salakia. But yeah, man, I just thought that was disgusting. Let me grab a couple more. That's disgusting, man. It says, Job to the 30, verse 8, they were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And these people are vile, man. This is a vile thing to be, doing, man. This is absolutely disgusting. Filthy, man. Okay? Filthy. That's filthy, man. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 31. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whatsoever, Salakia, that's not that I'm looking for. So here we go. Numbers chapter 19, verse 11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. So if you touch a dead body, okay, you're unclean, man. Okay, you're unclean, and that's an unclean thing. So like I said, this right here is unclean. This is an unclean thing right here that these people are doing. It says, I'm gonna bring that back. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. Numbers chapter 19, verse 30. I'll keep on reading. Let me see. Numbers chapter 19, verse 11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. You see, so we touching on dead bodies and stuff, that's unclean, and that uncleanness upon you. It says, and you see, for a period of days you unclean, man. Which means you can't be around a congregation. You can't be, Now we will hurt just the righteous acts to the best of our ability, obviously, but in the kingdom of heaven, this gonna be, put in full swing, man. You go around a dead body, which ultimately we're gonna be perfect in the kingdom of heaven, man. But it says, but the laws are gonna apply, to these heathens. Like, say a heathen go around a dead body, hey, you unclean, man. It says, and every open vessel which hath no covering bound upon it is unclean. And whosoever, look at this, and in every open vessel. So if you got an open vessel which has no covering bound upon it, or on a dead body, that's unclean. So if any water, all that's unclean, man. Or whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword is in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. So you can't be going to the grave, sitting at your damn granddaddy and your grandma's grave, crying on the grave. Your grandparents is not there anymore. Okay, your grandparents is in the spirit world with the Lord. Scripture says how all spirits return back unto Him. Okay, so that's your spirit, your family or your love member spirit is up with the Lord. But what's in the ground is just a vessel, which is just dust to dust, man. It says, and for an unclean person they shall not take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification of sin. And of an unclean person they shall not take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water and sprinkle it upon the tent and upon all the vessels and upon the persons that were there and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. So we even got a law going into, if you go around dead bodies, how you supposed to purify yourself. It says, I remember when I came into the truth, when I was in the truth, I had a close friend that died. I went to his funeral, and then after the funeral, I had to get purified, man. I had to be purified, and it was for a certain period. I couldn't come, but we did it to the best of our ability, at least, But the man that shall be unclean shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of Yahweh. This water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean. So, amen. But that's pretty much the point. This is unclean behavior. So abstain from this unclean behavior. Abstain from this unclean behavior at all costs. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna say Shalom, Kwame Shirala, Abad, Babal, Shalom.